The general consensus is Welltech, hands down, by far, it's the best. And then I saw that Welltech has a YouTube channel, social media presence, great marketing. Jeremy from Welltech, he could sell a ketchup popsicle to a lady in white gloves. He had me convinced that bent beams are the way to go. I'm set to get my lift kit installed on March 4th. I'm at Welltech right now. I'm parked to another Econoline here with the 6-inch lift, so you can see the difference right here. So wheel gap of my van stock, and then here's the wheel gap of the 6-inch lift right there. Big difference. I can't wait. It's gonna be a lot of fun. In my opinion, off-road for off-road, Action Van, Welltech, they're the same. On-road, I actually think Action Van suspension is better on-road, because this is what I just realized. So we had a Action Van suspension lifted van at the last van meet, and what I noticed is Action Van suspension, it's wider, and it's because when you bend I-beams, you're sucking the tire in, and your front track is narrower, making the Action Van more stable. And then Welltech, they ditched the sway bar. Oh, that's a good one. You guys get to hear some V10 right now. That's pretty impressive. Oh man. Oh, he ripped up that.
Yeah, I know.
Here we go, watch this. V10. Easy money.
Oh my gosh.
There's my microwave.
I know. Did you break something again?
Nah, I bounce it around all the time. I'm gonna say it straight up. If money was not an issue, I would have a 12-inch Timberland lift kit, the $30,000 one. But me being me, this is what I could afford. And if Larry wants to make me an affiliate, if he wants to sponsor me, this is how much I believe in Action Van. Pull the Weldtech lift off my van and put an Action Van Ultimate suspension lift on my van. I'll swap lifts, and then if he wants to do that, I'll sell. Anyone who wants a Welltech lift, I'll sell it to you for a good price. That's how much I believe in Action Van. I totally swap out kits. If he wants to sponsor me, I'll slap an Action Van suspension decal on the side of my van. That's how much I feel like it's a comparable product. It's like this. If you enjoy Welltech's videos, if they've given you hours and hours of entertainment and Welltech inspired you to lift your van, go to Welltech. If you vibe with Welltech, if you vibe with the company, the people, give them your money. It's cool, man, because like I said, I don't think Welltech's $1,000 better, $2,000 better install versus install. But if you want to spend that extra $2,000 as a thank you to them for inspiring you, give them your money, man. Help them out, because I thank Welltech, I thank Action Van for giving us the opportunity to have vans that look like this at the fraction of the price of a 4x4 conversion. That's what it is at the end of the day. 5-inch lift kit. Last weekend was the Gorman Hungry Valley van meet. Isn't that the best lift kit available for two-wheel drive Econolines? Why are you always promoting Action Van suspension? My first van build from 10 years ago on an Action Van suspension lift kit. So I've had the Action Van lift and the Welltech lift. I bought this current van that I have in 2020. I had to drive it around stock height for a year, and if you're a regular on my channel, you remember all my videos talking about lift kits. I couldn't wait. All those videos saying I'm working on my days off today, guys. I want my lift kit. So all those 60 to 80 hour weeks to afford a lift kit. So I had a year to think about it. So for a year, I was doing my research, watching videos, going on forums, and the general consensus is Weldtec, hands down, by far, it's the best. And then I saw that Weldtec has a YouTube channel, social media presence, great marketing. Jeremy from Weldtec, he could sell a ketchup popsicle to a lady in white gloves. He had me convinced that bent beams are the way to go, drop downs are bad, and you know, the amazing ride. It's the amazing ride claims that made me go Weldtec. And then, you know, they're local. I like supporting. I like supporting workers, man. I said it. If you watch my Action Van video from 10 years ago, I said, you know, I like to support the economy. I like to support workers. Weldtec is local to me, 30 minutes away, so I'm supporting a local company. So the day I pick up my van lifted, of course I'm happy, the looks of it. Action Van and Weldtec, they lift your van about the same. So of course my van looked cool and I was happy just looking at it. It's like finally here, my van's finally lifted. So now I'm driving it around. I'm looking for speed bumps to feel this amazing ride. So I'm going over speed bumps. The van rides nicer than stock. So both lift kits ride nicer than stock. So I'm going over speed bumps. And I'm telling myself, this does ride nicer than stock, just like Action Van, but it's not amazing. You know, the claims were pretty amazing. That's what he was saying, amazing ride. And it's about the same as Action Van. So I'm driving around. In 2021, when I got this lift kit, it was $4,600 installed prices, or $4,400 installed. Prices have gone up about $400, so with taxes it's gonna be near $5,000. But at the time, I spent $1,600 more than I would have spent with an Action Van lift. So when I'm driving this around, I'm telling myself, feels about the same as Action Van. I should have went with Action Van. I was a little disappointed, I'm not gonna lie, but I don't regret it. I said, okay, the lift kit's already in, it's already in here. Supposedly this is way better off-road. So I said, okay, I already have the kit, but it's not $1,600 better than Action Van. And now, in 2023, it's definitely not $2,000 better than Action Van. Is it the better product? I don't think so. They ride about the same, and off-road, they do the same thing. The only thing I could think of, and who wants to test my theory, most of these people saying Weldtec hands down, I see them in the forums, I see them on Instagram. Their vans are parked in driveways. They don't even see gravel roads, let alone go off-roading. But if anyone wants to do jumps on these vans, do some jumps and film it. Maybe that's the advantage you have over Action Van suspension. So 10 years ago I went to Action Van suspension. When I arrived there, I talked to Larry a little bit. It was a long time ago, but he treated me good. Very professional, very knowledgeable guy. This second time around with the second lift, I wanted to go with a Welltec or Camberg, and then Action Van third. If Welltec or Camberg was just way too busy, like the wait time was way too long, I would have went with Action Van again. But the reason why I wanted to go with Welltec or Camberg was because of all the hype for bent beam suspensions. Like I said, Welltec is very good at marketing. They had me believing it's bent beam or nothing. It's by far, hands down, better. That's what I was seeing on forums. That's what I was seeing from Welltec. So I decided to give it a chance. And then Welltec is local to me. And then they have a YouTube channel. They always talk about how they love vans. And I love vans. I started a lifted van meet. That's how much I love vans. So I said, okay, I'll give these guys a shot. So the day I go to Welltec, when I was talking to sales lady setting up my appointment, it was a 1 month wait. I almost went to Action Van because it was a 1 month wait. That's how much I wanted my lift. But I said, okay, I could wait another month. So I talked to the sales lady, who was really nice. I don't remember her name. I don't know if it's the same sales lady as before. But since they seem to show every van that they work on, I write down my YouTube channel and put it on my van. And I don't like asking for help, but I did say, like, if you happen, you know, all passive, I'm like, if you happen to want to show my van, could you show my channel name? Because I think it would be really cool, because I notice a lot of my subscribers watch Welltech and enjoy Welltech stuff. So I think it would be cool to see a blue collar guy represented, because Welltech shows beautiful vans. So I thought it would be really cool to show a van like this. $6,800 van. So I drop off my van. They were live streaming the day I drop off my van, and my van was already on the lift getting worked on. So my friend messages me and says, "Hey, I saw Weldtec's live streaming right now. I saw your van in the background." So I hop on their live stream, and you know, it's still happening, and I see my friend leave them a comment saying, "Hey, that blue van right there on the lift, that's my friend's van. He's been saving up for your lift for a year. You know, it would be really cool if you could show his van. He's really excited about this. That's all he talks about on his channel, is getting a lift for his van." So they show my van like this. All right, so they go like this. They show my van for like 3 seconds, and then that's when I told myself, oh man, I think my van is too ugly for them to show. And I understand. You know, they show beautiful vans. They show, like, remember that ambulance build? If you're regular on my channel, remember I showed you guys a lifted ambulance for sale that was like 125 grand. Welltech worked on it. It had a Welltech lift, and like I'm pretty sure Welltech did a video on it. And before I did this video today, I looked it up, and Welltech did do a video about it. So that's what they like to do. They like to show beautiful vans. I like making videos about lifted vans for sale, and I made a video about this van a couple of months ago. $125,000 in Carlsbad. It has a Welltech lift on it. As soon as I saw that, I said this van was probably featured on Welltech's website, YouTube channel, and of course it was right there. How could they not? Beautiful van, $125,000. So of course, when they see something like this, yeah, they don't want to show this. It's gonna cramp their style. They worked on Nick Cannon's van. I don't know who that is. I just heard the name. I don't know if he's a sitcom star or a basketballer, but yeah, you know, they work on high-end stuff, so I understand why they wouldn't want to show something like this. I don't even have the full-length awning. It's a 4 foot by 6 feet coming out. It's not the whole 8 foot. So I don't even have an aluminum ladder. That's a Serco. And I saved my cans. See, there you go. See, save my cans, because I need all the funds I could get. I haven't emptied that yet from my trip. You guys gave me the heads up on this though. A couple of you guys let me know. That's my van. They used my van in one of their videos, just talking about engines on Econolines. But yep, there's me. That's my intro. So, and then one more thing to share with you guys. I did a video about lift kit options. Here's my van again, my first van. I did a video about lift kit options: 2-inch spacer, 3-inch spacer, the 5-inch lifts, U-joint 4x4, and Timberland, the most expensive, 30 grand for a 12-inch lift on a 4x4 conversion. So of course I recommend Action Van, because like I said, I don't think Welltech is that much better. I don't think Welltech is better. I think it's a comparable product straight up. And Action Van is about 1,100 or so. Like if you install it yourself, you'll save about 1,000 on Action Van. If it's install versus install, the price gap's even bigger, about a 2 grand difference. I don't think Action Van is $2,000 lesser of a lift. In some ways it's better, and I'll talk about that. I'll do a tech video after this one. This one's just more like, you know, talking about companies and experience meeting people. But so Welltech, they're business people, man. So Tony Lopez here, he said yeah, he wishes Action Van would do videos like Welltech, talking about the tech of their lift more. And look who shows up in my comments. Feel free feel free to pause it and read it. But I basically invited Welltec, you know. Yeah, they didn't. My van was too ugly for them, but at the end of the day, they're business people. They got a YouTube channel. They got plenty of fans, so I invited them. I said, Welltec, feel free to show up at the October van meet in Anza Borrego, bust out some jumps, bring a Transit, bring a Nissan NV, bring a Econoline, and do some jumps, man. Show us how good your suspension really is, because in my opinion, off-road for off-road, Action Van, Welltec, they're the same. On-road, I actually think Action Van suspension is better on-road, because this is what I just realized. So we had a Action Van suspension lifted van at the last van meet, and what I noticed is Action Van suspension, it's wider, and it's because when you bend I-beams, you're sucking the tire in, and your front track is narrower, making the Action Van more stable. And then Welltec, they ditched the sway bar. Now here's the thing, I've always plugged Action Van suspension, and over the weekend, last weekend, we got a surprise. Larry from Action Van suspension last second showed up at the Gorman van meet, and I'll have footage of that later. You guys probably have seen it already if you're a regular on my channel, but Larry from Action Van showed up, and not only did he show up to pass out business cards, because I've given an open invitation to any vendor. They're free to join us at my van meets. Pass out your business cards. Hey, give out some free shirts, which Larry did. That's really cool, man. He brought us some free shirts. He even gave me a Powerade. But yeah, not only did he give out free shirts and hand out his business cards, he ran some trails with us, which I thought was really cool. And he didn't just talk business with us. He talked to everyone at the van meet about just life. He's a true van fanatic because he doesn't have a crazy van build. His van is just stock on his company's lift kit with a limited slip. That's it. He wasn't flexing on us that he had $100,000 van build, nothing insane. And he went off-roading with us, and my respect level for him went up even higher. I mean, I liked the guy before, just remembering him from 10 years ago. I believed in his product from having it 10 years ago, and just meeting the guy, down to earth. And you know what, it's like this. If you enjoy Welltec's videos, if they've given you hours and hours of entertainment, and Welltec inspired you to lift your van, go to Welltec. If you vibe with Welltec, if you vibe with the company, the people, give them your money. It's cool, man, because like I said, I don't think Welltec's $1,000 better, $2,000 better install versus install, but if you want to spend that extra $2,000 as a thank you to them for inspiring you, give them your money, man. Help them out, because I thank Welltec, I thank Action Van for giving us the opportunity to have vans that look like this at the fraction of the price of a 4x4 conversion. That's what it is at the end of the day. And this is why my respect level for Action Van suspension for Larry went up even higher. So of course we're going to talk tech. And I told Larry, oh, this is what Larry told me. I said, man, why didn't you, he showed up out of nowhere because a guy by the name of Rick left me a comment a couple of days before the meet and said I might show up. All right, so I said, okay, we might get an extra one last second. So I see a lifted van pulling towards us, and I thought it was Rick. So the guy drives towards our campground. We're about to hit the trails in Hungry Valley, and I said, hey, are you Rick? And he said, no, Larry from Action. Oh, not Larry from Action. He says that later. He just says, no, I'm Larry. I'm like, oh, cool, man. Welcome, man. Yeah. We're about to hit the trail right now. So Sebastian, my friend Sebastian, was actually filming this as it happened. He was handing out his business card. And then I put two and two together. I saw the big Action Van suspension decal on his window. And I said, are you Larry from Action Van suspension? And he said, yeah. I said, well, he said, I figure I sneak up on you guys. So he talked to me and said, hey man, I watch your videos. I appreciate your honesty about lift kits. And he even jokingly corrected me. I said, Action Van uses skyjackers like Welltec. And he just corrected me politely. He said, I just would like to correct your misinformation. We do not use skyjacker coils. It's all our own design. And he didn't get mad at me, because in one of my, I know what video he's talking about too. in my video talking about that, I tell people if you're going action van, don't even get the $300 Fox Shocks upgrades. He didn't get mad at me for that. That's my opinion. He said, I appreciate your honesty. You know, and another thing that really impressed me about Larry was I told him, dude, I wish I went with your kit. I don't think the Welltec's a better kit, let alone $1,600 at the time better than your kit. And you know what he told me? He said, it's cool, man. Spread the money around. There's room for everybody. And he told me he watches my videos, he likes my honesty, and he told me, hey, if you need a rear locker, let me know, I could help you out. And he's, you know, and that meant a lot to me. And he didn't bring no cameras. Larry doesn't have a YouTube channel. He doesn't have Instagram. He should. I told him, man, you should. And then he talked to my girlfriend too. They just talked about life, and I heard, you know, like while I was talking to my other friends, I heard the conversation, and he was telling my girlfriend, yeah, on my days off, I want to have a day off. So he brought his dog, he brought a ball. He said if he doesn't find us, he's just gonna go off-roading and hang out with his dog, man. Down to earth guy. And for some of us, this is why I'm making this video. For some of us, just doing business with a down-to-earth guy means everything to us, because like I said, blue-collar guy, I saved up a year to afford this Welltech lift kit. I work 60-hour weeks, 80-hour weeks, manual labor job, man. I pick up boxes, and I talk personally with a lot of you guys, and a lot of you guys that I talk to are family men. You got kids to take care of. Lift kit is out of the question for now. It's not in the budget for now. Or you did get a lift kit and you guys tell me the same thing. It took you years to save up. That's just extra money that you had to save up. Some of you are still saving up, and that's why I could relate with a lot of you guys. And I understand Welltech. They're gonna show the most beautiful vans. But at the end of the day, man, it's a lot of these guys with beautiful vans saying it's Welltech hands down, Welltech or nothing. And it's like, dude, your van never leaves the driveway. So it's really cool that Larry hit the trails with us. He didn't have no cameras. He didn't do this for social media. He said, I like what you guys are doing. So I figure I'd sneak up on you guys. And like I said, he told me he appreciates my honesty. And that's why I've always plugged Action Van Suspension. I think it's every bit as good a product as Welltech. And like I said, maybe Welltech will be better if I busted out some jumps, which I don't. So I'm gonna do a more technical video. This is just talking about life. And the reason why I started these van meets is because this hobby has meant a lot to me. It's 10 years later. I'm still talking about lifted vans 10 years later. 10 years ago, I didn't have many people talking to me about lifted vans. As the years went by, when I got the second van build, more people started talking to me about this, and that's why I had the idea to start these van meets. Because a lot of my friends are just like me, similar to me. This hobby has meant a lot to me. On a personal level, this hobby has meant a lot to my self-esteem. When I'm building up my van, learning new skills, learning wiring, being creative. I mean, yeah, it's not a beautiful van, but you know, I've been creative with it. Yeah, you know, Larry didn't put me down for having this monstrosity hanging off the back of my van. When we were hitting the trails, he was like, is this box gonna be okay? I said, you're all right. But yeah, this is what you do when an Aluminez is too expensive. You hang this. My emergency supplies are in here. I did off-roading with this monstrosity. But this is what you do, man. For me, this is yeah, this builds my self-esteem, is learning new skills, being creative. So yeah, that's why I don't have a Weldtech Designs decal on the side of my van. It's like this. You know how much I believe in Action Van Suspension? I'm gonna say it straight up. If money was not an issue, I would have a 12-inch Timberland lift kit, the $30,000 one. But me being me, this is what I could afford. And if Larry wants to make me an affiliate, if he wants to sponsor me, this is how much I believe in Action Van. Pull the Weldtech lift off my van and put an Action Van Ultimate Suspension lift on my van. I'll swap lifts, and then if he wants to do that, I'll sell anyone who wants a Welltech lift, I'll sell it to you for a good price. That's how much I believe in Action Van. I totally swap out kits. If he wants to sponsor me, I'll slap an Action Van suspension decal on the side of my van. That's how much I feel like it's a comparable product. So I'll swap that out. So if Larry, you're watching this, that's how much I believe in your product. And meeting you, my respect level for Action Van went up higher since I met the man behind the lift kit. He said he's been lifting these vans for 25 years now. I don't know if he's the first person to lift this generation Econoline. I'm pretty sure savvy people know how to lift this thing by bending the I-beams. I'm sure that's why Ford puts a big do not bend warning on it. They figure people are going to try to lift these by bending the I-beams. There you go, do not bend. But like I said, to be fair, I've said it before, I have faith in what Weldtec's doing. I have faith in what Camberg's doing, and I have faith in what Larry's doing. I have faith in all three companies. I just feel like for the money, Action Van's the way to go. And meeting Larry, yeah, it's I like the company even more now. I'm going to promote the company even more now. A few of you have seen the video with Larry meeting up with us, and you want to give Larry your business now because you thought that was a cool move for him to just hang out with us. Here's some advice to vendors out there. You may be used to working with affluent clients, customers, but here's the thing with the hardworking crowd. It means a lot to us, these vans. Like I said, the van hobby has changed my life. So when Larry showed up, it meant something to me. He didn't show up with cameras, no intention to show it off on social media. I wanted to share that with you guys. And when I shared that with you guys, I got messages now from people telling me, I'm going with Action Van suspension now. The guy from Action Van just seems like a down-to-earth guy. I want to give him my money now instead. And I appreciate you comparing lifts off-road. And my next video will be the technical aspect of it. To conclude this video, I'm going to show you guys my van with the Welltech and Larry's van from Action Van going over the same ruts. You'll see the suspension travel on the Welltech. So basically what I'm doing, Larry's doing, and Sebastian is also doing. Sebastian's Life 91. His van is the camera van on a 3-inch spacer lift, and we're all going over the same ruts, and we're all performing great. So, you know, doesn't paint more of a picture than having actual video footage. And like I said, I will do a more technical video. This is just personal feelings. This is what this hobby means to me. This is what these van meets mean to me, meeting with you guys. I mean, it's a fun hobby. When you think about it, when we do these van meets, we're meeting up with YouTube friends. We're being neighbors for the day. We're being neighbors with people we've met on YouTube, and it's really fun, man. Leave in the comments, man, like when you've participated in these van meets, let people know how much fun you have, because time flies so fast at these van meets. And like I said to vendors out there, it means a lot to us. This hobby means a lot to us. So for someone to show up unannounced, someone respected in the lifted van community, it was really cool experience. And my next video about Action Van versus Welltech, I will talk about more of the technical stuff. But to conclude this video, Action Van suspension and Welltech and a spacer lift on the exact same trail, doing the exact same thing. And in my opinion, that's all the proof you need to who has the best lift. It's about the same.
Oh, nice. Hey, how's it going?
Good, how are you? I'm Larry.
What's your name?
Larry.
Larry, I'm Brooke. Nice
Hi,
to
Brooke.
meet you.
So you didn't leave me?
Hola, come. The Action Van lift kit. That's the one I'm gonna be getting.
Right on, well, let me give you a card.
That's awesome. I love this. Yeah, dude,
Wait,
definitely.
are you Larry, the guy who sells Action Van?
No way. No way. Dude, he's like your biggest advocate, dude. He's been telling everybody.